Hello. Oh, shit. I just paused. Hello, everybody. I'm TychoCelchuuu, the only one on the internet who's not yet banned from Puerto Rico. And we have Insane Down PT playing as the OKW versus Coconut Milk playing as the Soviets. Do you recognize either of those names? Actually, I think I do recognize Insane Down PT. Why do I recognize that name? Did I just cast a game with Insane Down PT? Do I have Insane Down Alzheimer's disease? I may indeed. Anyways, it's currently the top-ranked auto match game, but I'm casting on a Tuesday night, which I thought was a Wednesday night, so they may not be experts. We're going to find out. We do have a Kubelwagen coming out second after these Volksgrenadiers, so I'm excited to see where this is happening, where this is going. And the Soviet player is heading back to build tier 1. I'm making my thinking noise with my mouth because I'm thinking. Will we see a clown car? Will we not see a clown car? Those are the two options. Yeah, so clearly I'm out of things to say. Oh, ooh, look at this. It's just some wheels, some gears, and a butter churner, it looks like. I don't know what the story is behind that, but there's a fight over here, so. I lied. I looked on the minimap, I was like, I bet there's a fight. There's no fight. They're just waiting in ambush? What is the plan here? Why are you not capping? Are you waiting for backup? What's the backup? Where's the Kubel? There's the Kubel. No, there's no backup. What are you doing? You're waiting for them to come around the corner? Are they going to come around the corner? They might actually come around the corner. That's actually not a bad place to wait in ambush. Slizbenik, Gaddafi, I can't play you and watch Tycho at the same time. So I guess Stormkite Gaddafi is auto-matching with Slizbenik, and nobody can watch it because they're all busy watching Tycho. Top-tier gameplay, says J for Jet. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe these guys suck. I'm getting really suspicious because neither of these squads are moving. And if Stormkite Gaddafi is playing versus Slizbenik, we can go watch that. Maybe Storm Tiger is streaming. If not, we can spectate. Well, the Storm Pioneers finally moved. They're below decent IMO, says J for Jet. That is also what I'm guessing. We do have a clown car out and penals. But I don't know. A Kubelwagen for capping all around. Conscripts in the car. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. We'll see what happens. Sometimes it's good to cast games from players who are less than good, so we can start pointing out things that you should maybe not do. So, obviously, the big thing is idle units. You don't want idle units, especially early in the game. Early in the game is the prime time to cap some stuff all around the map. So the longer your units are sitting idle, the less stuff you're going to be able to cap. Soviet Tier 1 is not super popular these days. Not a lot of people grab a scout car and load people up and drive them around, but you don't always have to do what's in the meta. We'll see what happens to snipers now that they're getting nerfed down to one person. For now, you can still buy some snipers as Soviets and pick off some people, but it looks like we're going penal spam, which is something. Oh, thanks Pedal TW for just following the Twitch channel. Sometimes we see penal spam, but you know, given their sort of weird anti-tank role or something now, I don't know, maybe you hold off on them until you know whether you're gonna need some anti-tank stuff. It looks like we have idle conscripts. Oh, and they're capping, that's okay. Not moving out of the flame, moving out of the flame grenade, that's good. I don't know if it's worth it. Do they have the flamethrower upgrading, maybe? Yeah, so sometimes it's worth it to stick your engineers in here before they have the flamethrower, just to sort of, if you're upgrading the flamethrower, so that way when the flamethrower pops, you can sort of surprise people. But just when they're in a vehicle, I believe they take an accuracy, oh, so now they're upgrading the flamethrower. They take an accuracy penalty, so if you're just sort of like standing here and firing, you might want to hop out of the vehicle. Is chat alive? Asks Maslovsky. Yeah, there's some people in chat. Some people hanging out. Von Ivan saying hello. The flamethrower is ready, but they popped out and they're repairing. That's good. Okay, so maybe these players aren't absolutely awful. They're now finally moving their units around the map and retreating when they're being attacked and things like this. So, it may not be an entirely noob cast. Somehow the Kuba wagon took a lot of damage while I wasn't looking. We have a nice chase going on. Oh, not chasing. So I would have maybe thought about chasing those guys. They have a pretty long retreat path. And they're low enough that you can get some lucky flame crits and kill some people. And Sturm Pioneers are relatively expensive and valuable. Oh boy, Raketten revealed. So now we're going to see how the... Oof, I was about to say now we're going to see how the Soviet reacts to the revealed Rakettenwerfer, which is very important because that can fuck up the scout car really easy. But the Rakettenwerfer just immediately retreated, which I don't think was the play. You know your opponent is going to have to react to the... Oh, hi, I'm here, but I can't load the screen because the Wi-Fi where I am isn't fast enough to load 1080p 60, says Hansu. Great, I shouldn't talk to you anymore because you can't hear what I'm saying, so I apologize. That I'm not a Twitch partner, so I can't stream in all sorts of bit rates, but if everybody joins my Twitch channel, then they can watch. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So when you reveal, or sorry, when your Rakettenwerfer gets revealed like that in one of those situations, you can insta-retreat like the German player did, because obviously that keeps the Rakettenwerfer safe. It lets you take it back into the field later on and get a better angle on things. But if you leave it there and sort of just accept that you're going to maybe eat a couple bursts from the flamethrower, obviously the advantage is that you force your opponent to micro around it. So they either have to run away with the half-track and hope they don't get caught by you as they run away, or they have to sort of constantly circle strafe, and that's when you can send in your Volksgrenadiers to Faust it and maybe catch it, because it's circle strafing, so it's probably deep within your territory. Or at the very least, you just like wait a few moments just to see how they react to where your accountant is positioned, and then maybe you can even start repositioning it to catch it as it circle strafes. So that's a that's an option, which I think the German player maybe ought to have availed themselves of. And it's also interesting to see such an early Rakettenwerfer. That is an acknowledgement of the fact that the opponent went tier 1, so you know maybe they're going scout cars and stuff. But often you can deal with scout cars just with Fausts, so I suppose the idea is that you have a Kuba wagon that you want to repair, or that you want to protect. Twitch chat is talking about whether there's an audio-only option for my stream. The answer is I think no, because I'm not a partner. Or not. And here's the clown car again, and also not chasing. So maybe understandably cautious, because there's a Raketten somewhere. The Penals are almost revealing it. You do want to get as much use of your clown car as possible before the thing's obsolete when a bunch of stronger stuff gets out on the field. I don't know why these guys aren't in the building. I guess there's no windows on this side, that's why. And the Panzer II is out. So, whoa, no, there's another clown car. Since when have there been two? There's been two for a while. Oof. But now they're obsolete because there's a Panzer II on the field. So this is bad news bears for the Soviets. What's going to be the response? What's the teching look like in the Soviet base? We don't have tier 2. I don't know if we want to go to tier 3. We can. We've got a lot of fuel, so maybe tier 3 is the play. Grab a T-70. Not a bad choice. The penal battalions can maybe tide you over with the PTRSs, and that's exactly what's happening with one of them. With this one. Soviet on 51 fuel a minute, says J for Jet. That is correct. The Soviet player has every point on the map, more or less, except for 1 CP, 1 munitions point, and soon actually there's going to get a pretty good cutoff from the Germans. But I don't know about the Panzer II driving into the base. Don't do this. Don't do this. There's actually no conscripts anywhere. The only conscript squad is out here in the building. But caught by the PTRSs, and oh no, it's the sticky satchel kaboomy. Engine damaged. No, don't run it. Chase it. Chase it. So when you damage an engine of a light vehicle like this, light tank even, this far into enemy lines, you 100% chase it. Are you going to chase it with a... This is the plan? Get in the car to chase? I don't know if that was worth the time, especially because the car is going to get chewed up by the Panzer II. Some fighting happening over here. I guess a Faust must have gone in on this thing. And a second Faust. So that's, of course, the weakness of these things. And this is finally getting out on the field. But the Panzer II stops retreating. So the question is, how far into the fog of war does the Soviet player... Well, not even a question anymore. They found it. So, like I said, I don't know about the scout car as a choice for attacking because it gets fucked up. Really lucky the Rakettenwerfer was not facing that direction. It gets fucked up anyways. These guys are fucking going down. They have the PTRSs. Ooh, the Sturm Pioneers don't chase. It looks like maybe we had an attack order on them, which would have stopped them moving briefly while they were in range. When you're chasing a unit, what you want to do is you sort of right-click in the direction that they're going so that your unit's moving the whole time. You don't want to give an attack order. An attack order will make your unit stop moving if they're in range and start firing. Twitch chat is still talking about whether there's an audio-only option. J for Jet, he can put the penals in the M3 and hunt it down. Probably what he's doing. Nah, definitely the best play to make. Don't know exactly what that's referring to, but I think the best play to make was chase on foot. The Panzer IIs, no ways, would wipe out that penal squad before they kill the Panzer II. 230 fuel float at 10 minutes. Never mind, says J for Jet. Yeah, never mind about the fuel float, I guess. Looks like tier 3 is going up. Okay, well, there's no Panzer II to deal with anymore, so no need to go to a T-70 if you don't want to go to a T-70. What just, something just exploded. Oh, it's up, and we have enough fuel for everything. Is this just to get tier 4? I can imagine the Soviet player going straight to tier 4 at this point, when you're this far ahead, this much map control. Would have kept stopping and aiming, says What.Live. So, everybody in chat's telling me I say everybody, it's just What.Life and maybe J for Jet, telling me the penals could not have chased that Panzer II. The Panzer II had a damaged engine. The penals had PTRSs. All they needed was a few rear hits. The Panzer II's rear was facing the penals. Surely you can chase at that point, right? Infantry squads can't keep up with the snared Luchs. Okay, well, sounds like I'm wrong. Good to know. They only needed a few hits. Nice grenade. Somehow the Kuba wagon's still alive out of all this. And what is the German teching? It's back tech to tier 2. Great. People talk about whether the penals have any identity in the game anymore because they have no URA anymore. This Kuba wagon is just owning up some combat engineers who have flamethrowers and are too far away to do anything about it. But the Soviets still in a very commanding lead with all this fuel. They've picked a doctrine. For what purpose, I don't know. Counterattack tactics. Who uses this? Let's check these things to see if there's anything insane over here. There is insane. Firestorm doctrine. See, fucking PTRSs can catch a Kuba wagon. They can catch a fucking Snared Panzer II. I tell you what. Maybe I'm wrong, but I might be right. Oh boy. Main gun destroyed. It's just an MG42 destroyed. It's for Mother Russia. All infantry and team weapons on the map gain increased combat effectiveness and infantry run at speed. Cool. Whoa, those guys are motoring. Who else is moving? I want to watch some people run. Woo! Book it. Book 'em, Dano. Looks like it doesn't make you retreat faster, so it seems like maybe soft retreating. Yeah. So obviously you don't get the received accuracy bonus when you soft retreat, but it looks like For Mother Russia makes you run so fast that soft retreat is sometimes going to be a better option than hard retreat. Interesting. Good to know. What does this do? 30 seconds. That's a long time. So just some crazy penal spam from the Russians. Working out relatively well against the Germans who don't know what to do. Just not effectively utilizing their infantry. I would, at this point, since your opponent has no crew weapons, or nothing to deal with blobs at all, basically, I would just, if I were the Germans, maybe think about blobbing. Just blob and then focus these penal squads down would maybe be the plan. For Mother Russia, used to last twice as long, I think, said J for Jet. I believe it. No one ever uses this thing. Go see some shock troops. Got 900 manpower floating, 300 fuel. Are we going to see something at tier 4? We don't have tier 4. Why is the Soviets not building tier 4? You have tier 3, you're not building any tier 3. The only reason to build tier 3 is to build tier 4. Do it. Yes. Germans, meanwhile, don't have the resources to tech for anything. So here's what I'm talking about. The blob. It's not working this time because you're actually getting out-blobbed. But, yeah, add in the Sturm Pioneers and maybe the fucking Fuchs machine gun, I don't know. Add in something else, and the blob could have focus fired down that penal squad. See, it's almost dead even right now.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
So yeah, if you know your opponent doesn't have any sort of sources of suppression or anything, which is basically... Where's that grenade? Which is basically the situation that the Germans are in, and you're sort of getting wrecked by your opponent's infantry, and you're kind of penned in your base, like you don't have an easy breakout point. Blobbing is nice because it can let you focus fire on like one of the squads, preventing you from... So like if there's one squad over here, one squad over here, a couple squads over here, you just go in a big blob and fight over here and wipe out one of the squads, or at least force a retreat, and then you've sort of broken out of your base. And then you can roam around and kill some stuff. Alright, what's that? A KV-1 coming out? Yeah. That's going to be tough for the Germans to deal with, but, you know, they've got a Raketenwerfer. They can build another. That's the end of this, right? No, I take it back. It's 2 engineer squads. That's probably going to be fine. 2 4-man engineer squads is a bit tough because a lot of them have the rifles, but yeah, it can still get out. Did we have any mines laid? I thought maybe I hallucinated a mine, but it looks like it was a hallucination. Arkham, how often do you play CoH? Just curious if the majority of time is spent casting. It fluctuates wildly. I haven't played CoH in a while, but sometimes I go through phases where I play a lot of CoH. But right now I'm just mostly in casting phase. Depends how I feel. What I'm mostly playing these days is Metal Gear Solid 5, which I bought for $5 off the Humble Store. Here comes some Fauschmakers. Oof, Raketenwerfer is scared off. Was that a mine? No, it was the Raketenwerfer, right? Where's the Raketenwerfer? No, the Raketenwerfer is retreating. Something. There was something here. Maybe it was a penal battalion. No. Okay, where'd the Fauschmakers go? Okay. Okay, this is going down. This building is not long for this world. Well, no, neither are the Sturm Pioneers, it looks like. Oh boy. Doing some good damage on those guys. I don't know about max range with the Fauschmakers. I can understand being scared to get close, but green cover, I guess, is good. Okay. The Raketen doing as good as it gets. Ooh. What Death Life? I played Metal Gear Solid 5 for an hour and shut it off. I got fucking sick of crawling on the hospital floor with 0 development. I ate that shit up. But I'm done with that now, and now the game is good. Fauschmakers are dead, so German spent a lot of manpower on something they didn't really need, namely Fauschmakers, and now has no manpower for what they really need, which is a Raketenwerfer. Because there's another KV-1 coming out because the Soviets spent the entire game floating manpower and fuel. Oh, let me skip that bullshit, says about Death Life. No, you can't skip it. It's very important to crawl on the floor of a hospital for 20 years. All the peanut battalions getting chewed up. They're all retreating back to base. Luckily, the Soviet player has a shit ton of manpower, so it shouldn't be tough to reinforce. But the Germans kept a lot of the map back. So if you're Germans right now and you're playing from behind, you know that you're super out-teched. There's these heavy tanks around. And Jesus Christ, the Kuppelwagen's like, whoop, maybe not going to go there. So, I think really you got to make the call that your only way back into this is a lot of Raketenwerfers that just blow up the tanks, because that's the only way. Maybe some Teller mines or whatever, some mines, some normal mines, because your Fauschmakers can kill infantry. Oof, I don't know about a Faust to the front when it's halfway out here. I guess the Raketenwerfer is close enough to maybe follow up if things go well, but save your munitions for when the, especially when you're this low on munitions, you save the snares for when you can get some more work out of it, and maybe for when you have another Raketenwerfer out on the field. Sturm Pioneer's up to Vet 3. Oh no. We'll see how long that lasts. They're getting pretty low. They might have wiped a squad, almost. So Raketen putting in a little bit of work, getting a little bit of damage. Repositioning a little bit. Cloaked. Don't know why the KV-1 is going in again. Don't you know there's a thing here? Interesting reposition. I can feel it. This one isn't hurt enough to make it make sense to focus on it. Uh-oh, this is bad. 4 Mother Rushes popped. Here come the infantry. Gonna chase down the Raketen. It's gotta retreat anyways. And we do have a finally second Raketen building. That's the only way into the game. I suspect. Soviet player doing a good job accumulating veterancy on all these infantry squads. And actually, the German player not doing too bad either. We also have Vet 2 on that Kubo wagon, which was the second unit built for those of you keeping score at home. Oh no, not the Vet 3. Looks like they got out. We got a human centipede going on with the KV-1, but it's a KV-1 centipede. You see what I did there? I just swapped out human for KV-1. Made a lot more sense, and that was not the most effective use of a Kettenwerfer that I've seen in Company Heroes 2. Also not the most effective use of a Kubo wagon I've seen in Company Heroes 2, but it does inspire a false sense of security in the Soviet player rolling in the KV-1s, and turns out there's a Kettenwerfer here. Probably a good call getting some AT on the Sturm Pioneers. At this point, up against 2 KV-1s, you need everything you get. Arkham says, air horn please. I'm only too happy to oblige. Don't know why we're air horning, but we're air horning. And these guys maybe feel like they can walk around with impunity. Maybe blow up a building. That would be good. Catch a squad. I think its health bar is a little too high to get caught by this shit if the Kenton's not going to help. These guys take forever to reload. Shock troops. Oh, it's not even doing any damage to the building. What kind of bullshit's that? Shock troops are here. That's kind of a weird choice. It's going to really hurt the upkeep, I think. We have 192 manpower income. That's the end of the Kubo, finally. Just from normal penals, it looks like. Too bad. Yeah, I don't know about the shock troop choice. Maybe it's fine, because you know your opponent's hopefully going to go heavy into Kettenwerfers. Hopefully you've starved your opponent of fuel enough that they're not going to pop out with some tank or something. So the shock troop's going to be perfect for clearing out Kettenwerfers. Or at least forcing them off, which is all you really need to do. Get yourself some space for your KV-1s. Move on in. It's the AT versus AT. Looks like the penals are winning that. Sturm Pioneer don't get any reload bonuses from Vet to help the Shrek. Good to know. That's why it's so slow and ponderous. Shock troops doing exactly what I said they would do. Cleaning up the Raketans. And German player can't lose squads at this point. What do we have? Foshenmakers? I don't know about this. I don't know about this. It's also going to fall directly on the KV-1, it looks like. KV-1 seems like it's aiming upwards, maybe at the Foshenmakers. Well, I guess that's one response to shock troops. I mean, it works. I guess they can Faust, too. We didn't think about that. No engine damage, though. How has a Soviet player not won this? Just drive in with your fucking KV-1s and kill everything. They're not even facing the right way. Good lord. This is exactly the wrong way to use the KV-1s. You gotta commit. You gotta go commit to the circle strafes to get in behind them. Or you just don't go in the first place. Because otherwise, that's how you lose half health off a tank for nothing. And if it's scouting for the infantry, you gotta have your infantry ready. The infantry's not ready. So that's an ineffective match. Need to win the match using the KV-1 rear machine guns. Just went off life. Good. So for the Soviet player, you need to know, look, you've had the opponent starved for the whole match. You've got 2 huge fucking tanks, one of which is going to town on a shack, just really doing that shack and tearing that shack a new shack hole. And once you're this far ahead, you go for the jugular. You don't let your opponent come back. Because their main comeback condition here is the pretty cheap, or the relatively cheap and very effective AT guns. And once they get a critical mass of those, it's going to be much harder to use your KV-1s. So as long as you have an equal number of tanks as AT guns, it's doable. But when you fall behind, it's hard. KV-1 repairs super fast with Vet 2 engineers. KV-1 is 20% reduced incoming damage, so its health pool is not high, therefore quick repairs is what doth life. Good trivia bit right there. But what really matters... Whoa! Was that a KV-1 I think just picked off? All those people that retreats, I don't know about that. I understand wanting to keep it alive, but that just leaves the other one fucking blown in the wind, and now that one's retreating. And nice Faust damaging the engine, but there's no way you're finishing off that KV-1, right? You know that, right? There's shock troops here. Yeah, and just full-on retreat there. So valiant effort from the Germans, and then they quit. So, okay, so I hope everybody learned some tips and tricks. And Soviet player basically dominated that game because... Why? Because the German player, not good. I should have paid more attention to the infantry fights in the beginning. We could have given more tips to the German, because the German just consistently lost infantry fights. Didn't blob enough, I think, in the middle game. That was the way to come back. And then didn't commit fast enough to a lot of Raketenwerfers. We saw that one time the 2 Raketenwerfers opened up on this thing, and bam, it was down to half health. More of that sort of thing. German could have been back in the match, but that didn't happen, so the end.